yo, Blue, Navo, y'all gonna have to turn them lights down, man. Turn the lights down. Y'all shining too much.
Nah, fam, we only getting started. Yeah, I got the light. He got the light. We got the light. What you know about it? So much light. More light than a spike in your power bill. Or a match when it strike, we devour ill. They don't know how to feel. Their minds crippled, mental game bangers. Never saw losers, but we game changers. Rearrange strangers with the Rickens. Next mission, bring the light to your home, electrician. I've been grinding since the basement. If you know, you know, man, you not adjacent. I'm in a league of my own. My soul speaking through poems. Both your speakers are blown for my songs. Let's get it on. I'm ready for the challenge. The academy of dark and light is all about balance. Life's never perfect. Beauty runs deeper than the surface. Album on sale, but the soul not for purchase. Birth this ill style with mild symptoms against them ecstatic. I'm a shock to the system. Warrior. Battle scarred, yet these bars hard. Thus became an author, not the Harvard. I say, Mr. Hard Part, restarted the lost art. Can make a smash from the mouth, I'm an all-star. Like this, light switch. Life is priceless. Like this, light switch. Life is priceless. Hit the light switch if you need a light switch. Like this, right quick for the night shift. I got the light, he got the light, we got the light switch. Sacrifice a ticket to the afterlife. My mission isn't done on earth. Alert the jerseys versus fuel my appetite. I have the right insight. World needs the facts of life. Healthy as an apple slice. This what real rappers like. International. Took a vacation. Still working on my sabbatical. Casual but tactical.
Listen up, please.
I'm more than a chess piece. Pawn starving a bargain for scraps while the rest eat. Left me to fend for myself and I conquered where the wild things are with the monsters. As the earth keeps turning, lies keep turning. My eyes see burning. Fire desire with quiet, I'm blessed as 3 sermons. Speaking that breeze, the feet vermin. Billie Jean, you can see the light. Every step that I take, walk with a glow, kept to my fate. Like this, light switch. Life is priceless. Like this, light switch. Life is priceless. Hit the light switch if you need a light switch. Like this, right quick for the night shift. I got the light, I got the light, we got the.
Alrighty, testing. Hello, everybody. My name is Livy Necron, and you are watching ERS Racing. We are going to Australia today. Let's go ahead and load on in, waiting for all our wonderful drivers. They are all loading in, and we'll be getting into our qualifying soon. Today, we are going to be doing a 50% raise. You know what? This is a little bit aggressive. We're going to turn down the compressor. I was like, we're gonna give ourselves a radio voice today by cranking the compressor a little bit, but it's a little aggressive. Let's turn that back. There we go. That's a little bit better. Much better. Hello, everybody. Let's try that again. I hope everybody is ready for some good driving today. So Australia, I am not familiar with this track, so hopefully I can familiarize all of us with this as we do a little bit of research. We get a little bit into the history and look at these tracks themselves. It looks like we're going to have 2 DRS zones in this track today for the Australian Grand Prix. I think our audio is working. Waiting for a thumbs up. And I think we got our thumbs up. I did swap things around a little bit, how things are working. So if there are any technical issues, please don't be shy to point those out. Today we have this is going to be our Tier 5 Race 1. We did a little bit of reconfiguring of the leagues here to better balance everybody out and make sure we have some more filled races. Let me turn up the car volume a little bit so we can actually appreciate that noise. Fun fact I learned, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it is true for these cars specifically, but apparently recently they've been putting speakers into the cars to enhance the sound of the engine. I know it's a gimmick that's been in other cars for a while now. But I didn't realize that F1 cars were apparently getting so quiet and efficient. They weren't apparently making satisfying enough sounds for the fans. So they started engineering in speakers to the cars in order to make them sound better, which kind of blew my mind. But then when you think about it, it's all about the experience. And if you don't have the backing, you don't have the popularity, you need that as well. So it ends up making a little bit of sense that they would go and engineer that into these. Oh, we got a little bit of a freeze there. We are back though. Looks like we have some moderators as well with us today, which is all well and good. We're gonna get a little history real quick. We're all gonna learn something today. I'm going ahead and finding out some history on the Australian Grand Prix here. Finding out history on these tracks is always wild, seeing the track changes over the years. So we are going to be going on the 2024 versions of these. We have our first lap set at a 1:18 by our own league. What do we call them? I think they call themselves the CEO of ERS Racing. Oh, and our next purple set by LV. So it looks like we have a little bit of a spread. Everybody's warming up right now, so we'll see where this gets to by the end of qualifying. We're still just starting. We still have over 14 minutes left for qualifying. Just about everybody is out on track. It is a beautiful day here in Australia. Track conditions look almost ideal. There is a bit of fog, but other than that, the track is mostly ideal. Nice and dry, not too cold. Either way, these cars are going to be trying to heat up their tires, heat up the track, and get some times set so that we have our grid. Our newest purple lap has been set by Nicity. My brain wants to expand that to Nick City, but it's Nicity. My brain is like, what letters are missing from there? And ends up adding some in. From our last races, I know some racers that you're going to want to keep your eyes on are going to be Ben Formula, Django, and Elvie are going to be some racers that we're definitely going to want to keep our eyes on this race. But for those who do not know me, my name is Olivia Necron. I will be providing your commentary today. I am a voice actress and a streamer, and I hope we all have a good time. This is very much out of my wheelhouse doing commentary, but we're going to see how it goes. Let's check out Ben Formula. They are on their outlap, and I believe about to... Oh. We are about to see them begin their hot lap. Hopefully this stream is a little bit clearer than previous streams that I've done for everybody at home. I did have one heck of a time walking in today. But I hope it was all worth it. We have a new purple lap set by Whoops. Whoops, they set a new purple lap with a 1:16.5. Right now we have quite the spread right now. spin formula coming around. Let me pull up the track map really quickly so we can see what we are actually dealing with. It looks like we should really be paying attention to T1, the very first turn 1, as well as turn 13. Maybe turn 6 as well. We might see some fun things happening there. That chicane up there at turn 6 and 7. I'm just clicking between 2 different maps just to make sure that everything lines up and I know where what is. Because one has the turn numbers in the DRS zones for me, and the other one has names of things, so I can sound like I know what I'm talking about, even though I don't. I'm not even gonna try and lie to you guys. I don't know what I'm talking about. I learned about, I'll be honest, I learned about racing secondhand. I was actually at work when I learned about racing. So I have a very, I would say, cursory knowledge, and just enough to make it sound like I know what I'm talking about and somewhat make sense of what's happening as far as apexes and lines and things like that. I at the very least have the buzzwords down. And as a commentator, I think that's about all I need. Well, other than that, a crew might be nice, but hey, we're a small league right now. Speaking of such, if you'd like to join the team either as a driver or a commentator, make sure to click that link down in the description for our Discord. Hop on in there, and I'm sure Jordy would love to get you situated. Looks like Bin Formula has set a time of 1:16.8 is what we are looking at. And they're heading back into the pits. Looks like we have laps from almost everyone. Edveer is on their hot lap currently. Let's see what they end up setting for us. Coming around turn 9. Over the hill. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to pronounce them, but Ascari. A-S-C-A-R-I, Ascari. And Senna. And finally, into the back straight. Setting us a time of 1:16.9. Putting them at grid position 5 for our 50% race. So today's format is going to be qualifying, which you are seeing right now, followed by a 50% race. Don't mind me just working on the audio mix for your listening pleasure. Just watching our drivers go through this track, we have some pretty wide corners, which is going to leave plenty of room for overtaking and some fights to happen. So I'm expecting to see a lot of action here. Let's take a look at Victor, who is out on their hot lap. Well, another hot lap. trying to set a better time. Ezzo making a reappearance, giving us a 1:16.4, taking the purple lap in qualifying, and that will be grid position 1. Let's see if anybody can eke out just a little bit more than that. And hello to everyone in the audience. 5 minutes remain on the clock for our qualifying round for this race. This is going to be Australia. The Australian Grand Prix F1 with the ERS Racing League. We're very much just going to play into that radio persona for this stream, and we are going to see how this goes. Welcome in. It's good to see some familiar faces again. Just we have quite a few familiar drivers in here. Ben Formula was not having it with that lap they had last time, and they set a new purple lap, beating out Nicity by 1/100th of a second. 1/100th of a second. Absolutely wild. Are they going for one more? Let's find out. They do have time if they want to do one more. Before they get back around, let's take a look at some of our other drivers. Driving the kit car is Kristaps. Kristaps? We're gonna go with Kristaps. Take it nice and smooth around these corners. We're gonna hop back over to Ben Formula as they are getting to that final straight. We're having a little bit of network issues, and we are back in the pit. They are satisfied with their grid position. Little bit of trouble here. Pushed a little bit too hard into the corner. Ended up sliding onto gravel out there. For this race, they are going to have some fresh tires, so not too much to worry about. They are also satisfied with their time. It looks like Django. Okay, Django is not going to be setting a time this race. Hopefully, this is a half race, so they do have plenty of time to make up those spaces, to make up those places during the main race. And I'm going to hide the UI before someone yells at me to do it again. I hope everybody is having a beautiful day, night, morning, whatever time it may happen to be for you as you are either racing or just tuning in to enjoy watching this, or maybe just listening to my voice. I may be just being conceited though. But I'm the commentator, and this is a one-way stream. I can say things like that. If that made you thirsty, then I'm doing my job just well. Less than 2 minutes left on the clock. Most of our drivers should be heading into the pits. It looks like some have left trying to get a last-minute lap in while we're in overtime. Well, as we go into overtime. Since remember, they have to do their out lap, which is coming out of the pits first and then through. So they're coming full speed through the checkered line, and then one lap to set that hot lap. The way our lineup is, it looks like we are going to have a very, very entertaining race here with some pretty good clumps, both in our podium positions as well as in some of our further back positions. It looks like we are staying quite close in our times, a quite close grouping, very, very different driving styles I'm seeing from all the drivers. The two distinct ones that I am seeing is one is as smooth as can be, and the other is going and waiting as long as they can to hit those turns. So they keep as much speed going into the corners as possible. In other words, one is prioritizing entry speed, the other one is prioritizing exit speed. We are now in overtime for anyone who is on a lap to finish. Looks like 3 of our drivers are satisfied with their times, and I've locked that in. Ben Formula coming in for one final hot lap. Let's see if they can solidify that first place grid position even more. No, Ezzo at the very last moment takes the fastest lap with a 1:16.2, 0.2 of a second faster than Ben Formula, taking the number 1 grid spots. We are waiting for 3 drivers. 1 driver, actually. Looks like 2 are having some connection issues, which is okay. As we're seeing, I think all of us are having a little bit of connection issues today. But do not worry. The race will go on, or the show will go on. The saying doesn't work quite as well, does it? But hopefully conditions stay ideal for this race so we can see really where the limits of these drivers are as we go into the first race of this new season. And to hopefully answer any confusion that you may be having, yes, we did have some Season 8 races already, but we then needed to shift things up a little, make sure that tiers were how they needed to be, that everything was balanced out, and that everybody could make it. So we are seeing some new faces here. Mash Tag. I do not remember them from our original lineup, so there's someone that we're going to want to keep an eye on, see how they do. Whoops, I don't believe was in our tier before, so welcome in Whoops, welcome Mash. Other new racers that I'm recognizing here. Oh, the list went away. All of our drivers are now loading in, making sure any final adjustments they want to make are done after those qualifying hot laps. And we will be going into a 50% race. So this is half of the standard full-length race. for this track. I don't know how many laps that is going to be. We will find out once the scoreboard loads in. This is information that I feel like I should have, but we're going to play it by ear. Everybody is loaded in, and we are off for our formation lap. So formation lap, everybody is going to stay in the same positions. Nobody is going to be passing. As we take our formation lap, then get lined up on the grid and get ready for lights out in the beginning of the race. So our grid lineup for this race is going to be Ezo, followed by Bin Formula, then Nicity, followed by Victorets, followed by, followed by Advir, followed by Django, followed by Mashtag Brady, followed by Kristaps, there we go. Followed by LV, followed by ERS Ronald, followed by Markov, DJ Panda, Official James. Is that a 2 or a Z? I think that's a Z. Official JMZ. Followed by Jurin, followed by Charwar, followed by Skiff, SFKE, followed by our own Jordy in the ERS Racing League car, followed by BTL Wakey, and followed by Forrest Yan DTC. So it looks like our strategy this race are either going to be mediums to hards or 2 mediums into hards. Let's see what everybody has currently. We have 2 of our racers on hards to start. So we'll see if this strategy ends up panning out for them. Hards are not going to have quite as much grip, but they are going to last longer. It looks like all of our drivers are lined up on the grid. Lights out and away we go. This is ERS Racing League Australia, Tier 5, Race 1. Around these first corners, we're already seeing a lot of passes and a lot of traffic. Let's see if we can clean this screen up really quick. Kristaps and Django are wheel to wheel here. Everybody so far is within. Oh no, we clipped and we spun out there on the wide corner. We are having a lot of issues here on our first lap of Australia. Everybody is going for those corners and not quite having the traction that they remember having on those softs. Softs are going to give you the highest amount of traction. However, they are not going to last nearly as long due to both the heat as well as just way more surface area on the road wearing them out. Mashtag falling close behind Victorette. Coming around these corners, that is a corner that we've seen already a driver wipe out on. They just have so much speed coming through these corners because these are slightly wider corners that the drivers are taking it a bit more aggressively than maybe they should. As we see one more spin out. Whoops, taking our purple lap with a 1:19.2. Ezzo holding P1, followed closely by Nicity and Whoops, who is already doing great things. They are all bumper to bumper. This is a deceptively easy track to drive on because of these wide, generous corners. However, they're also really easy to spin out on, as we have seen from already. I think we've seen 4 or 5 spin outs already in our first 3 laps. Nicity and Whoops at points in these turns are going wheel to wheel. Nicity is able to make a pass. Hopping back in the pack really quick, we have Mashtag following Django, followed by Bin Formula. All 3 of them are going to be bunching up through these corners and trying to make moves. Mashtag looking for the pass. And they make the pass. With an impressive speed coming out of that corner and securing that spot in P4 for them for the time being. Coming back to Bin Formula, they are looking for the pass on Django. Up at the front of the pack, it looks like Nicity was able to, I don't know how they pulled it off, but it looks like they were able to overtake Ezzo, taking P1. These corners where you're having to start in and then come outwards around are really destabilizing for the car, and we've seen that with all the spinouts so far. It looks like our drivers have started to figure out how to handle that a little bit better. Some of our drivers have practiced this quite a bit beforehand. Others have not. These are all going to be all of these races are going to be very, very entertaining to watch, as we have such a wide skill range. But there are these also wonderful, wonderful bunches where we get to see some fighting all around the places. Mashtag once again looking for the pass on Django. With Bin Formula right behind. We are having some network issues today, so please do excuse that. Mashtag tried to make the pass, but ends up spinning out and getting into the gravel. Hopefully they can make up some places here. That was devastating. Ezzo retaking P1. Nicity and Ezzo are fighting here for P1. Neither is letting the other get away. From what I've seen, it seems like Nicity is just more comfortable on the first half of this track. Oh, and we have a safety car. Everybody's going to have to slow down here. We're only 6 laps in, so anyone who was hoping to use the safety car as a margin for error with their pit is not going to end up doing that here. Safety car, because it slows the pace of everybody down, is a valid strategy in order to get your pit done, since your pit is going to add about 13 seconds to your time. Anywhere between 13 and 20 seconds. So we're gonna see all the cars close up here. Mashtag is definitely going to be taking advantage of this to hopefully regain some places for themselves, it looks like. And Race Control has now enabled DRS. And the safety car is off the track. DRS means that cars, once they get into DRS zones, can open their back wing to reduce their drag, to increase their speed, but at the same time that also reduces their grip. So this is going to be a little bit scary coming through here, as we've already seen the cars are very unstable around these corners, the way that some of these drivers are taking it in order to get the maximum both entrance and exit speeds. ERS Ronald coming out with a really good exit line. Django close behind Ed Veer, trying to close that 3/10 gap and look for the pass. Ezzo has once again passed Nicity and is back in P1, closely followed by Whoops. Whoops made the pass and made it stick on Nicity. The way their name is written, they look shocked themselves that anything is happening. When they pass, they're shocked. When they get past, they're shocked. Whoops takes back P2. And is once again looking for a pass. You have quite a few position changes. A little bit back. Whoops is able to make the pass, and it sticks. Ezzo and Nicity wheel to wheel. Whoops with an amazing exit, trying to increase that gap. They've already increased it to a half-second gap between them and the P2. We are having a great day here in Australia. Oh no! Whoops takes that corner a little bit too hard. They are able to recover quickly, though. Let's see if they can keep their position. It looks like they will be able to keep their position at P3. ERS Ronald is trying to take advantage of this to get that P3. Looks like we are having some more connection issues, sadly. Nicity once again looking for the pass on Ezo. I know I said this last time I commentated, but as a commentator, I realized I didn't know what ERS stood for. And nobody knows what it stands for. Apparently, it's just because it sounds cool. And I can't really argue with that. It does sound very, very cool in announcements. For instance, welcome back to ERS Racing. You are watching the Australia 50% race, Tier 5, Race 1, Season 8. See, just like that. We can put on the broadcast voice. We can have a little fun with it. It makes it sound very, very official. Speaking of official, though, if you want to officially become part of this league yourself, either as a driver or a commentator, make sure you click the link down in the description to the Discord, get signed up, and I'm sure Jordy would be happy to get you placed into the correct tier for your skill. We have both tiered races as well as daily races going on. For more details, I'm going to direct you to Discord because I don't know them. Hopping back in the pack, DJ Panda is trying to close the gap on Victorat. Ezo is able to make a pass on Nicity. Nicity is not letting up that gap and keeping under 2/10 here. Both cars get beautiful exits out of these corners, really taking these to their limits. With having to steer one way than the other, it really destabilizes the car, which is why we're seeing so many spinouts, even in our upper places. And in this DRS zone, Nicity is able to make the pass. DRS zones, especially when cars are this close, we are going to be seeing a lot of passing happening. Looks like Whoops is going for their pit. They just finished their pit and they're back out. They've taken a early-ish pit and they are now on hard tires. Hard tires are gonna have that white line all the way around them. Kristaps is looking to gain some positions here. They are bumper to bumper with the car in front of them, driven by Jordy. They are approaching a DRS zone. Oh, no, they're already in the DRS zone. Jordy is playing extremely defensively here, trying to make sure that pass doesn't happen. He's able to defend through the DRS section. Oh, but not quite through that corner. Kristaps gets a better line through the corner and makes it through. All the links are in the video description for the league. At the very least, they should be. We will now confirm this. It is indeed. Okay, enough of this compressor. We're going back to our normal voice. We're not gonna play into the radio voice anymore. I've had my fun. It looks like both our P1 and P2 have taken their pits. Bin Formula is trying to make up some time while they're doing their pit here. They just have a clear track in front of them as they try and make up some time on Ezo here. They are gaining. They gained a 10th around that corner. So let's see if they can keep this up, start closing that gap. Nicity and Whoops are back on the track from their pits. Edveer makes a pass, and it looks like it sticks. Passing Kristaps. Kristaps is not letting this go lightly and is trying to look for a pass of their own here on Edveer. Our P1 has now finished their pit stop and is heading back out onto the track. During this time, Bin Formula has made their way to the front of the pack. They are on hards currently, I believe. Just about everybody is swapping to hards here as we go and take our pits. Whoops is closing the gap on Victorette, looking to regain P4 here. They are able to pass and make their way back into P4. Edveer still looking for that pass on Kristaps. DRS zones are open. I believe they are about to hit one. So let's see if they can make a pass and make it stick. We have a new fastest lap set, our new purple lap at 1:18.5, I believe, is what that said. Into the second half of the DRS zone. See if a pass is going to be made. Looks like they might be thinking about taking that inner line. They have not made the pass yet. Still looking for it and keeping that steady gap. Side by side here, taking the inner line. They are able to make the pass and it sticks. Over the hill. Looks like that last corner is not as kind, and that pass was reverted. Hopping back to the front of the pack for a moment. We have Bin Formula followed by Necessity, followed by Ezo, both of which are closing their gaps. I do not believe that Bin Formula has gone in for their pit. They have gone in for their pit. Okay, so let's see if Bin Formula is going to be able to keep that gap. They ended up having an earlier pit. However, let's see how they're able to maintain their tires. That is really going to be the name of the game here. If they can maintain their tires, they may just be able to stay in P1 for the remainder of the race. We are about halfway through. Advir now looking for the pass on Kristaps. These two are going back and forth, and they have been for the last few laps. Advir makes the pass on the inside line, and it sticks. Hopping back up to P2. Nicity is closing that gap on Bin Formula and is going to be looking for a pass soon. They're within the 1 second that is required, the 1 second gap that is required for them to take advantage of DRS. And in this DRS zone is where we've been seeing quite a few passes. They are making up time. They are wheel to wheel going for the, and they are able to make the pass, and it sticks. They took an inner line and went wide in order to secure their position in front of Bin Formula. And they are now making that gap. Oh, Bin Formula is going into the pit. I wonder what happened there. Bin Formula is going into the pit as Ezo has regained their spot in P2 and is now gaining on Nicity, trying to regain P1. Whoops is in P3, followed by Victor in P4 currently, followed by Kristaps at Veer, Bin Formula, ERS Ronald, official JM. I still can't decide if that's a Z or a 2. Followed by Jiren, followed by Charwag, DJ Panda, Markov, ERS Racing League Jordy, and BTL Wakey, and Mash Tag Brady. I wanted to say Brandy there for some reason. Is it obvious that I want to drink? Bin Formula is out of the pits, trying to regain their position. They went into the pit in P2 and they came out in P8. All of our racers are staying quite close here. They're able to make a pass on the inside. And making their way for the next target, Kristaps. Kristaps, meanwhile, is looking for the pass on Advir again. These two have been fighting back and forth now for the past 4 or 5 laps. Coming back to the back of the pack, we have Charwar, also looking to find that pass on DJ Panda. These two have been going in and out of that passing range. Hopping back up to Kristaps for the moment. Also looking for the pass. Everybody's playing it a bit more cautious around these corners now. Not going as aggressive to try and make those passes in order to not spin out. Because at the moment, we are all still pretty grouped up. If we want to see what our full spread is, I can actually swap that up here. We are not, no one has lapped. We are all still within a lap. Even if barely, we are all still within a lap. And for most of our places, even less than that. So any time gained here is going to be absolutely crucial. It's like everybody has made their stops. Our fast lap is still held by Ezzo. Just about everybody is running hards except for ERS Racing Jordy. We are late enough in the race that they may be able to keep those mediums for the rest of this race. It really depends on how they're able to manage their tire wear. With how much we've been seeing our racers go onto the curbs here, it is going to be cutting it tight if they're going to be able to make these last the rest of the race. These are mediums. They are quite a bit more sturdy than softs, but I am still worried with the forces that these drivers are putting on these tires. As we can see, they are playing it a little bit more conservatively, taking advantage of the higher grip to get a better, to just accelerate out of the corners instead of taking them as far out as they can onto the curbs, trying to preserve those tires for the rest of the race. I expect in a few laps, we're going to see them start hitting those curves again, going all out, trying to go for possibly the fastest lap, possibly just gaining a few places. Hopping back to the front of the pack momentarily, Ezzo is looking for the pass once again for P1. Nicity has taken P1. We will see if they make another pass here. They were looking for the inside, but did not happen. They are setting up for a pass here, and they make it, getting a beautifully fast exit and being able to just overtake around the outside line. Kristaps has swapped to soft tires, looking for that fastest lap. We only have 7 laps left, so they can afford to swap to softs at this point and go all out. We can see that their gap is quickly closing on the driver in front of them. So let's see how far they are able to push these softs in the last laps of this race. They do have a tough fight on them as they are chasing after Jordy in the ERS Racing League car, who is on medium tires. We're just going to take a moment to appreciate the action, let the cars do the talking. Nicity is once again looking for the pass on Ezzo. They're Xing the DRS zone here. It doesn't look like they are using DRS here. If they are, they've been using it very conservatively. I did not see that back wing move. Oh, and we have yet another safety car. If anybody needs to do a pit, this would be the time. Get that pit done while the safety car is at and the pace has been slowed. This is going to be amazing for, I believe it was Kristaps who swapped to our softs here. Let's see really quickly when we change cameras. Yes, it was Kristaps. This is going to be amazing for them to make up places here. Try and get to the front of the pack while we have that reduced speed because of the safety car. Hopping back up to Ben Formula, they were in P1 for some time, but after some unfortunate mishaps, they were pushed back a bit. They're going in for a pit while the safety car is out. I think they're going to be going for the fastest lap here, most likely swapping to softs for the last 5 laps. Quite a few cars are taking this strategy as well. And there they are swapping to soft tires here. And here is Ben Formula, now on fresh softs for the last 4 laps of the race. Let's see what they can do with these. There is in total, if my math is correct, there is about a 12-second gap to P1. At the moment, I think they're looking for P4. Let's see if they can make it happen. With fresh softs, they may just be able to push it. This is a very fun but dangerous track here. Safety car is still out, so it is reduced pace. We can see Ben Formula zooming around that corner. Making up time, already back to P6. They need 2 passes in these next 4 laps. A little bit of a love touch there. 2 laps, 2 passes in the next 4 laps in order for them to get P4. City looking for the pass on Ezzo, and they are able to just, they are wheel to wheel. Most of the pack has swapped to softs at this point. Taking advantage of the safety car to its fullest. Just about everybody is on softs now. We have seen more pits this race than I thought we would. Ezzo and Nicity once again wheel to wheel. Nicity coming out in front. Hopping back to Ben Formula for a moment. They're looking for 2 more passes here. Lots of our cars are lining up wheel to wheel now. What's going on here? I'm not quite sure what's going on at the moment. I think safety car just exited. So we will be going back. Are we going back to full speed at this point? I believe... Oh, are we? I saw a blink for a moment. It's psyching us out. Either way, we are speeding back up. Looks like safety car has fully left the track at this point, and our speed is no longer restricted. Everybody is really close here. Having a safety car here at the very end of the race has kind of acted as a great equalizer here, where people have been able to regain lots and lots of places. I will be keeping my eye on Ben Formula as well as Esonicity, seeing what happens here. Ben Formula is able to make one of those passes in P5 now. They're looking for the next pass on Ed Veer, trying to get that P4. We have 2 laps left. Currently, we have Nicity in P1, Ezo in P2, whoops, in P3. I always get a laugh when I say their name. Ed Veer in Pier 4 and P4, followed by Ben Formula in P5. Official, I'm gonna say I think it's a Z. It sounds better that way. I'm gonna pretend it's a Z at the very least. Official JMZ. Oh, Nicity getting our newest purple lap with a 118.3. DRS has been re-enabled by race control. Looks like we're going to have 1.5 laps in order to take advantage of that DRS. Ben Formula with a gap of 0.28 on Ed Veer. P1 and P2 are trying to peel away from the pack, trying to secure their podium spots. Ed Veer looking for the pass on Whoops. And they are able to make it stick. Ed Veer makes the pass on Whoops, taking P3. Ed Veer sadly does have a penalty on them, so Whoops still may be getting P3. Ezo has made the pass on Nicity, and it has regained P1. This is the final lap of our Australia race here with ERS Racing League, Season 8, Tier 5, Race 1. Ben Formula looking for that final pass, trying for that podium spot. Let's see if they're able to make it. This is our very last lap. We have our 2 DRS zones. Let's see if they're going to take advantage of them. DRS zones on this track are very dangerous. You're already at a lack of control and stability on this track just because of the way the corners are constructed, which causes you to steer one way than the other, destabilizing the car, making this the track that I have seen the most spin-outs of any race that I've commentated thus far. That's not a very big sample size, but it still says something, I think. And there's our podium. At the very last moment, Ben Formula is able to get that position. So our podium lineup, we have Nicity in P1, followed by Ezo in P2, Whoops in P3, Ben Formula in P4, Kristaps in P5, Ed Veer in P6, and I will read the rest of the list once it comes up again. Very nice racing, drivers. It was a hard track. It was a hard race. Everybody raced well. And for the most part, we kept it clean. Once again, congratulations to our podium. And a big thank you to all of our drivers for driving with us today. The only thing I can think of when they do this is I feel sticky just watching them. And here is our lineup. Nicity, Ezo, Whoops, Ben Formula, Kristaps, Advir, Diorin, ERS Ronald, Markov, Charwar, Victoret, Official JMZ, Mashtag, and DJ Panda. Thank you to all of our drivers. I would read off the rest of the drivers if it would let me scroll, but it doesn't. Good job, game. But thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. I'm Olivia Necron. You can find me at Olivia Necron everywhere. This is ERS Racing. This has been Season 8, Tier 5, Race 1 in Australia. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in, and we will see you in the next race. Bye.